bhagavata varanasiyam isipatane migadaye anuttarang dhammachakram.
Good evening, Dhamma friends. Welcome to this Saturday Sutta study class. It is a great pleasure to have you join with the Sutta study class through Zoom, YouTube, and also live stream. I warmly welcome you once again for this wonderful session of Dhamma. Before we begin, I just want to do the respectful venerations to the Buddha by reciting the Namo Tassa phrase 3 times in Pali and in English. So join with me in respecting the Buddha in such a way so that we can begin the Sutta studies with the respect to the Buddha and also Dhamma and also Sangha in mind. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the fully enlightened One. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the fully enlightened One. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the fully enlightened One. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Friends, let us begin this evening Sutta studies with the selected Sutta for this session. I think everybody is aware of the Sutta for today's discussion. It is Asi Visopama Sutta. This sutta is coming from Samyutta Nikaya. The sutta is talking about very important Dhamma elements, Dhamma factors. In the name of the Dhamma, sometimes Buddha talks about important factors of the Dhamma in different ways. In other words, Buddha knew that the disciples who follow the Dhamma are in different understanding, and their long-term practice could be different depending on what they have been focusing, so that basically the Buddha delivered the Dhamma in different ways. As you know, the Buddha was able to see the personal development, personal spiritual development of each individual. If there were any special cases, he would definitely target them and deliver the Dhamma. So that we can see the efficacy of the Dhamma is very much when the Buddha delivered the Dhamma. And the success was also were very much because of the Buddha's ability to deliver the Dhamma to particular characters who are able to absorb the Dhamma. the reason why I explain this, this nature of the Buddha's delivering of the Dhamma, because sometimes Buddha used similes to convince the deep messages of the Dhamma. So he was able to make the difficult things easier for disciples. So, as you know, Vattupama Sutta, Buddha has taken a cloth to explain the nature of mind, how it is defiled, how it is clean, and what kind of things we could have if we clean the mind from impure thoughts. So, in order to explain all these primary steps of cleansing our mind, he took the cloth, a piece of cloth, into his consideration. Then Alagadupama Sutta, the way the people should catch snake is taken into consideration as a simile, and he explained the beautiful Dhamma with that. Then we have a lot of such, very good examples to show that how the Buddha used similes, analogies to explain the Dhamma, deep Dhamma. So Asi Visopama Sutta, by its name, is talking about serpents and their venoms. Asi Visopama Sutta. Asi, Visa means the venom, the dangerous elements that snakes, serpents have to protect themselves and to catch, prey. So Asi Visa, that means serpents, simile of the serpent, Asi Visopama. So this sutta is very significant, not because of the Buddha's way of teaching, but because of how he, has taken not only the serpents as similes into the discourse, but there are many other similes within the discourse. So that is one significant thing. And the other very important significant is how he brought up Dhamma in a dramatic incident. So when we analyze the sutta, we can see the story that the Buddha takes into consideration, and after that, what kind of Dhamma he has been delivering within that simile would be really interesting. So at the very beginning, I just want to say that not only serpents have been taken as a simile, but there are a couple of other similes discussed within the discourse. Commentary to Asivisopama Sutta says that this discourse is delivered to a group of monks who have been meditating on dukkha lakkana, on their lives, on their mind. So basically, dukkha lakkana is the second of three lakkana. What are the three lakkana? Anicca, impermanence. Second one is dukkha, and the third one is anatta. So it is a type of vipassana meditation. It's a vipassana technique that you consider yourself as a suffering, as an unsatisfactory object. So you look at your mind, you look at your physical body, and you look at everything with the perception of dukkha. It doesn't mean that you cry and become upset by seeing, hearing, tasting, and smelling. But with wisdom, you understand that everything is under suffering. Everything is suffering. That is the basic nature of dukkha lakkana. So the group of monks who have been practicing meditation on this particular aspect of life were the audience of this discourse according to the commentary. Uh, After that, there were many monks and lay people in the history listen to this wonderful piece of Dhamma, and I think they got into the right path of the Dhamma for their deliverance, because this has been one of the famous discourses in the entire Tripitaka, because of the similes the sutta discusses, and also the way the Buddha uses uses similes to deliver the Dhamma. Um, uh, let's go into the discourse so that we can discuss many things in the discourse. Uh, let me get down to the discourse. So, thus I have heard, at one time the Buddha was staying in Anathapindika's pass in Jeta's groves near Savatthi. Then the Buddha said to this two monks. So, as usual, the Buddha was at the Jetavana monastery in Savatthi while he was delivering this wonderful discourse to a group of monks. Bhikkhus, suppose there were 4 serpents of great potency and fierce venom, very deadly and venomous. Then a person were to come along, that is, one desiring to live, not desiring to die, desiring to happiness, averse to suffering. And they would tell him thus, my good man, there are these 4 serpents of great potency of fierce venom. From time to time, they should be lifted up. From time to time, they should be bathed. From time to time, they should be fed. From time to time, they should be laid down to rest. So, Buddha started the sermon with a story directly. He didn't tell monks that he is going to tell this particular dhamma. So listen carefully and remember. Actually, that is included. So the way the Buddha started is different from many discourses. He started directly with the story. He told the monks, suppose there were 4 serpents, 4 serpents of great, potency of fierce venom. These 4 serpents are very dangerous. Their venom is so deadly. So suppose we have such 4 serpents, and if you happen to make them angry, they would bite, and you will experience greater suffering up to onto death, and you would die definitely. Therefore, they are so dangerous. So suppose somebody come and ask you to take care of them. These 4 sermons are to belongs to you because of some reasons, and your duty now is to take care of them. And how do you take care of them? From time to time, you have to lift them and turn the other way around. Just like you take a baby and turn this way and that way just to make the baby comfortable. So from time to time they should be lifted up, and from time to time they should be bathed. From time to time they should be fed. From time to time they should be they should be put into the bed for sleeping. So now you are given a job to be done, 4 sermons, and you have to take care of them, doing this kind of services to them from during the day. It is a dangerous duty because they have great fierce venom, and if they become angry and attack you, you are in a great danger. Friends, I just want to explain you what kind of deadly serpents we are talking about, especially based on Attakatha. Attakatha gives an account about some serpents. The king's time, the king, put a man with serpents near or around the palace or the particular area where the king was staying, and these serpents were trained to, by attack those unknown people, unknown animals, when they enter into the chamber where the king sleep. So these serpents cannot actually come to the chamber, but they are always going around. Some kings used to, keep these very deadly animal like serpents, and as elephants are, elephant horses, and all kinds of animals were with the kings. So basically, these serpents were trained and kept under the king just for protection. So, what kind of serpents they always train? It is said in the Atakatha that wooden mouth serpent. Wooden mouth serpent is the first one, and the second one, putrid mouth serpent. Third one, fierce mouth serpent, and the fourth one, dagger mouth serpent. These are four types of sermons that they always kept and protected themselves from dangers. Wooden mouth serpent basically rouses its earth element, so that if this serpent attacks somebody, the physical body of the person who got the shot become so strong rods, uh, and dry out. So wooden mouth serpent attacks you. As a result, your body become dry out, because uh, the, 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 the serpent's earth elements become prominent when they attack somebody. Even an animal would suffer from dehydration, and their body becomes like dried out, because the main function of the wooden mouth serpents in their bodies is rousing the earth elements. Then the second type of serpents are called putrid mouth serpents. They rouses their water elements in the attack, so that the victims, um, victim's body becomes rot and decaying and oozing, like this kind of things happen. So if they die, or if they experience a dangerous feeling, and what happened to them is their apo elements, water element is going out, water element is disturbed, because these putrid mouth serpent uh, has that energy in their body, and when they attack, that is the main elements function well than the other three. So that is the same thing happen in the victim also. If they die, their body, the water elements of the body is disturbed, and that is the main reason for them to die. And then the fiery mouth serpent, Aggimuka. So the third type of serpents are Aggimuka. When they attack, when they bite, the heat elements of their body become prominent, and the victim also experience the same thing. It is said that the victim's body disintegrate like ashes. So in an attack, uh, the victim experience pain, burning, and also disconnected different parts of the body from the other part of the body, so that they experience the great pain as well, and death could happen immediately because of such a dangerous feeling. Then dagger mouth serpent, Sattamuka, usually breaks the uh, body of the victim like a like a post into pieces. Um, and sometime you have seen lightning during the rain season, or in different times of the year we have lightning. So if you see a lightning, hit hard to a tree, the barks and the branches and also the trunk of the tree is destroyed into pieces. Like that, when dagger mouth serpents bite, um, the air elements of the body is disturbed of the victim, so that we can see the breaking off of different parts of the body. That is what is uh, mentioning in the commentary with regard to four type of sermons. And you can see the connection between the four type of deadly sermon and also pataviyapo tejo vayu. So first sermon bites, and then the damage is visible through the earth elements of the body, and so on. So that is what I want to tell you with regard to the commentary, especially about the four sermons, four serpents. So now we go back to the discourse. So Buddha said that that particular man has a duty to do now. Four serpents should be treated well time to time with bathing, turning around, and also feeding, and also putting them into rest. But my good man, if one or other of these serpents of great potency and fierce anyone were to be come angry with you, then you, my good man, will meet with death or deadly pains. As such, my good man, do whatever needs to be done. So if you do a mistake, all of these four would be angry and attack you, and there is no any excuse. Even if you take care of them very well, there would be, if there are a moment that you could not perform your duties, there will be a deadly experience for you, very bad experience for you, and you would be unlucky because they might bite you, they might attack you. So then the bhikkhus Buddha said that this man now is really upset. He was happy because he got a job to be done, but at the same time this job is terrible, and during the work hours he is not happy because he has that potential danger, uh, and it could deadly for him, so that he is having so much burden in his mind, so that he's going to go. Because then that person, fearing the four sermons, serpents of great potency and fear venom, would flee in one direction or the other. So now this man doesn't want to do the job, even though it is a very good job, because of the desire for living, desire for being away from any danger for life. So then this man is going, running away from this place. Then they would tell him, somebody meet on the way, so that the other person tell this particular running person, my good man, these five murderous enemies are pursuing very closely behind you, and thinking when we see him, we will kill him right away, right there. So when this man runs away from the four serpents, he met somebody on the road, and he tells that you are running now, but remember that there are five very dangerous, murderous enemies are looking for you, and they have promised to kill you whenever they found you. So this man is terrified now, because he is running away from very deadly four serpents, sorry, and now he's going to have another five murderous enemies, and if he is caught, he would definitely, uh, you know, definitely be killed by those five enemies. Now this man started running again to flee and save his life. Um, as such, my good man, do whatever needs to be done. Then, because that person, fearing the four serpents of great potency, fierce venom, and of five murderers, would flee in one direction. So, Buddha here uh, explain the simile. Now he has been explaining about four serpents and now five murderers. Then six murderer. There is another danger. So when he continues his running towards somewhere he could, he think he could save his life, there is another messenger, another person coming and saying that there is another dangerous, murderer. Uh, so that is not a enemy at all, but an intimate friend, disguised as an intimate friend, and he has a sword in his hand and pursuing very closely. Friends, as you know, uh, people who are uh, openly opposing you um, could be known really well as enemies. Those who are close by and do something negative for you, you are not in a position to understand because they have those things, and you are not going to believe them that they are doing something bad for you. So, friends, enemies in friends, disguised as friends, would be very dangerous than those enemies openly, attacked you. So now this man is so upset, and the danger is double for him, and his mind was not in rest before, and now it has been increasing. So that this man thinks that I should, run away fast because now he has a lot of dangerous in his side. When I see him, I will kill him right away. That sixth dangerous enemy um, uh, has told the messenger that if I found this man, I would kill, definitely. As such, do whatever, then because that person, fearing the four serpents of great fierce venom and of five murderous enemies, and also the sixth murderer would flee in one direction. So now this man went to an empty village where there is no one. He would see an empty village. Whichever house he were to enter would be deserted, void, and empty. So then he would tell him, somebody come and tell him, now, my good man, this village is haunted by various, unfriendly robbers and people who do all kind of bad thing in the society. They come and discuss everything in this empty village. So this man is now in a great trouble now. In any house he enters, there is nothing to take. Even the pots and pans and cupboards and everything are empty in the houses. And another person who was passing by told this man that you are in a very bad, very dangerous place, because at night this place is haunted by all the robbers, thugs, people. So if you are caught by them, they would definitely rob you and beat you, and you will be in great danger. So this man now is running from that empty village as well. Where this man goes now, it is very interesting. Um, then he would see a great water. So he was running to one direction, and now he stopped from a water, from a river, from a lake, something like that. He would see a great stretch of water whose near shore is unsafe and fraught with danger, and whose far shore is safe and free from danger. So now this man cannot run anymore because he was stopped by the great volume of water. So now in the side he is has so many dangers: 4 serpents and 6 murderous enemies, and there is another very dangerous person with a sword, and then empty village is close by because he was he came to this water just from that empty village, and empty village is a place for all kinds of bad action in the society. So there is less chance of surviving with the empty village too. So that now he has been in one side of the river or the lake, and now he is standing there. So he's so he feels now that that there is unsafety still, because um, there is no boat for him to cross over the river. Now he can see the other shore, which is free from all the dangers, but this shore is dangerous, and there is no boat or raft for him to get into the water and cross over. It is said in this discourse like this: then he would see a great stretch of water whose near shore is unsafe and fraught with danger, and whose far shore is safe and free from danger. But there would be neither boat nor bridge over which he could go across to the far shore. Cross over, then because would be occur to him. This great stretch of water, its near shore is unsafe and fraught with danger, while the far shore is safe and free from danger. So it's the same thing. And there is no boat. Suppose I collect grass, wood, branches, leaves, and bind them together into a raft, and supported by the raft and using my hands and feet, I go safely across to the far shore. And then this man collects all these grass, woods, leaves, and various other things that could be used for making a raft. And he did that and used it for crossing over the great volume of water, which has here, current flowing down very rapidly. So now he crossed over, gone beyond. He has gone beyond the huge water. So he stand on the far shore without any problem. So then Buddha turned. This is the simile. Remember this simile. It is easier than other similes, and because it gives lot of dhamma. Buddha talks about a man who was asked to look after 4 serpents with great venom and fierce venom. And this man came to know that if he has been doing that service for longer, he would be in great trouble, because these 4 serpents should be fed, should be bathed, should be turned the other way around, and should also be put into sleep. And if he does a mistake, they would definitely attack the person, and the venoms are so dangerous, so that he would be killed by them. So we don't want such services, such jobs to be done if there is a life-threatening danger. Same as this man, same as us, this man actually fled from that place, and while he was running to save his life, one person came and said that 5 dangerous enemies are looking for you with weapons in their hands, and according to them, you would be killed on the spot if they found you. Now he's running faster, and another man, stopped this particular person in the simile, and he told this man that there is another friend-like person. Is looking for you, and he has a sword in his hand, and he's going to kill you too. So this man is now so helpless. So he managed to go to an empty village where there is no one. Actually, in our experience, if you go to an empty village, there is no danger from humans because the village is empty from human, but there would be animals and so forth. But in the story, in a simile, somebody passed by and told him that this empty village with couple of houses are really dangerous because thugs people who do robbers and corrupt, all kind of things happen in this empty village because those people come here. So now this man found nothing in the empty houses. Even the cupboards and pots and pan, they were empty, and there is a great danger with that as well because you don't have anything to eat, anything to drink, anything useful is not there. So he ran away from that empty village and came to a dead end where there is no any path because he came to the water. So now he knows that this shore is dangerous because of the four serpents and five kinds of enemies, and then the sixth one, another dangerous, friend-like enemy, and then the thugs and robbers. So there are so many dangers, but he doesn't have any mean to cross over the dangerous, fast, flowing river. So that what he does was collected the grass and woods and branches and all kinds of useful things to make a raft. He collected them and make a raft. Now he put that into water and used his hands and legs, and with so much effort he was able to cross the dangerous water. And now he has been in the far shore, which is free from all the troubles. Now his mind is totally free from that danger. So Buddha now started explaining this simile, which is interesting because I have made up this parable to make a point, and the meaning here is thus: the four serpents of great potency and fierce venom. This is an expression for the four great elements: the earth elements, Patavi, the water elements, Apo, the fire elements, Tejo, the wind elements, Vayu. The five murderous enemies. This is an expression for the five aggregates of clinging, namely the aggregate of clinging, that is form, the aggregate of feeling, the aggregate of perception, the aggregate of mental formation, and the aggregate of consciousness with attachment. Just aggregate of form, feeling, perception, mental formation, and consciousness could be without attachment, especially with arahants. But we are talking about the five aggregates of clinging with attachment. So because we mentioned here in this story that five murderous enemies, basically they are compared to five aggregates with clinging. So that is the five dangerous enemies. And the sixth, murderer, an intimate companion with a drawn sword. This is an expression for delight and lust, Nandi Raga. In the first discourse, you had this word where the tanha is explained, defined, Nandi Raga, delight and lust. That is the sixth murderer in a friendly manner comes with a sword. You can now understand why the Buddha take these similes and they are really matching, particularly, for example, the Nandi Raga. They are delightful, right? We like it. We want it. So such feeling comes when we have Nandi Raga. What is the problem with this? With this, we complete the creation of tanha, the craving, and also padana, attachment. If you allow your mind to have nandiraga, one after the other, you end up your life with so much problems because Nandiraga are the quality of Tanha, then Tanha leads to Padana. So could be very friendly, people like it, people like to be delighted with something, with anything they experience. They are like friends, but at the same time, the danger is with that delightness. It just like disguised enemy. He act or she acts as a friend, but internally in a different way, in indirect way, what he or she has been doing to you is very, very dangerous. So you can see that now, that how and what kind of dhamma are behind these wonderful, comparison examples or similes. The empty village, that is really interesting. This is an expression for 6 internal sense bases. Why does the Buddha compare the 6 senses to empty village, salayatana to empty village? If bhikkhus, one who is intelligent, competent, and wise, examine with the eye, it would seem to be hollow, void, and empty. Only wise people do this. Unwise people, foolish people, people who have been jeered by greed, hatred, and ignorance can't do this observation. Only wise people. What is that? If a wise person consider the eye as as it is, what this wise person understand, that it is empty, hollow, and void. Empty, hollow, and void. There is nothing in this eye. Friends, with different discourses, we take the eye, this particular eye, and also the object. But what we can see here is the seeing, the function of the eye. The action of the eye is considered very much. So when we say ayatana, it is not only these particular muscles called eye, but we consider every function of the eye, every activity of the eye, seeing and taking information and letting, consciousness and contact work. So all these things are considered in the name called ayatana. So it is empty. If you look at it from the absolute point of view, it is empty, void, and nothing in there. Hello. If bhikkhus, because if one who is intelligent, competent, and wise, examine them with the ear, it would be seem to be hollow, void, and empty. So Buddha here talks about the the nose, the tongue, and body and mind also. So he tells us that all these 6 senses are fundamentally empty, hollow, and void. There is nothing worth that we can get out of this. It does not mean that you can use these 6 senses for something great and let create ideas, let function the life as it is. It could be. But if you are thinking that these 6 senses are beautiful and they are mine, and this is what I have in my identity and so on, so that is really negative. That is really akusala. When you look and observe and investigate these 6 senses, you do not find anything worth, just like the empty village. When that man enters to the empty village, it is not only empty from anything, and it is also dangerous because a lot of bad people gather there in the middle of the night for their next day robberies and thugging and every other bad things. So the simile is quite matching with the idea that that the houses are empty, the cupboards are empty, the pots and pans they are empty. Anything this man found, they were all empty. And if you are going to see something important in the 6 sense bases, you don't find anything, they are empty too. Sunyata, anicca, There is nothing in it. So then uh, the village riding bandits. So, who are these bandits or thugs people? Now we came to know that the village is empty and it is haunted and used by thugs and bandits. Buddha very clearly mentioned that this is an expression for the six external sense bases. So internal sense bases such as eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind are compared to empty village. And the empty village is always used by thugs and bandits. And who are they? They are the rupa, the pictures, things we see, and the sounds we hear, the taste and smell and touch we experience, and also thinking as this in the sixth sense, as the sixth sense objects. These are the bandits. So six internal sense bases are compared to the empty village, empty houses, and the thugs are compared to six external sense bases. Then now this man came to a place where there is a great water. I think this water is flowing down very fast. If you go to a huge river, you can see that the water is so furious and you cannot cross over. You would be died if if you try to cross over, like Niagara Falls and even Ottawa River flows very fast in different places, so you cannot cross over. And then the great stretch of water, this is the important thing, is an expression for the flow floods, namely the flood of sensuality, kama, oga, the flood of existence, bhava oga, the flood of views, ditti oga, and the flood of ignorance, avidya oga. We can discuss these important elements of the Dhamma in details later on. For the moment, understand that Kama Oga means when you have desire for sensual pleasures, your mind flows down towards them over and over again, and it is not easy for you to stop because your mind has that speed flowing furiously from here to those objects. And then asava, we come to asava here, that asava has the nature of flowing from here to outside and outside to inside. That's why we call asava. So kama is quite similar to it, which means that it is so fast, just like the water in the river. The second one is flood of existence, bhava oga. So when you have kama, no doubt for us that your bhava, the desire for existence on certain things, quickly go and continue. I told you the other day that bhava means, bhava has different meanings in the Dhamma. Bhava is the existing from moment to moment with desire is also called bhava. And we have particular bhava, rupa bhava, kama bhava, arupa bhava. The existence on different realms is also attached to this. So when you have kama as a furious way of flow from here to outside and from outside to here, you have that desire for existence as well. So that just like the water in the river, just like water in the lake, which is flowing down fast, this desire for being so and so is also a defiled state that is very fast, that is very dangerous. And then the flood of views, ditti yoga. So people create ideas, views very rapidly. They are very fast. With kama-yoga, with bhava-yoga, definitely you have ditti yoga. That's mean views flow very fast, and if you do not use right method with ditti, you will be a victim of that very fast water, ditti yoga. And then the last one out of four is the flood of ignorance, avidya yoga. As you know, avidya is not knowing the reality as it is based on the Four Noble Truths. it is been supported or conditioned by so many other defiled state, so that ignorance is so dangerous and so fast could be created easily. So these are the four ogre which are compared to the huge volume of water, huge stretch of water. The near show, the person who has been now in this show, and as you know, it is really dangerous because behind him, if you look back, if that person look back, he remembers the four serpents, he remembers that five enemies, and he remembers that sixth one, the sixth enemy, and he remembers the empty village and the thugs. And now he's in this show. When you have uh, those dangers in this show, uh, what exactly you experience, again, you have the danger for 100%. In the Dhamma, Buddha said, near show, unsafe and fraught with danger. Yes. That is an expression for self-identity, Sakkaya Ditti. Just forget the similes for a while. Look at the Dhamma behind the similes. Pataviyapo, Tejo, Vayo, and five aggregates of clinging, and then Nandiraga, and then internal and external sense bases. When you have these things and attached to them, what you have exactly is Sakkaya Ditti. Those who have Sakkaya Ditti have this couple of dangers, four great elements, and they have attached to them. And then the five aggregates of clinging, which is the same thing. And you have Nandiraga, which means a kind of attaching feelings to aggregates. And then your sense bases, both internal and external, are taken as me and myself. So you are in this show, which means that you have Sakkaya Ditti, self-view. The far show, safe and free from danger. So now this show is compared to the Sakkaya Ditti. The far show is compared to absence of Sakkaya Ditti. Where there is no Sakkaya Ditti, actually those who attain to Nirvana, does not have Sakkaya Ditti, including the Sotapanna. Sotapanna is also the one who attained to extreme entry position, has been permanently going to full enlightenment. Therefore, he is also, has experienced Nibbana permanently, but he has to complete the attaining Nibbana further. So the far show, the safe and free from danger, that is an expression for Nirvana, Buddha said. The raft, we haven't finished the, understanding simile and the Dhamma behind it. The raft, how does that man create a raft? He saw that he has some dangers behind, and crossing over the river is also dangerous because of the current of the water. And then, but he knows the fact that if he cross over the river with so much effort, he would be definitely out of danger, all these dangers. So he collected grass, wood, small size wood, big size, medium size, and leaves and barks, and he made a raft. Now the raft, this is an expression for the noble eightfold path. In Alagadupama Sutta also emphasized the fact that Dhamma is just like the raft. The noble eightfold path here is quite matching Dhamma for the raft, simile. Right view, right thought, right speech, actions, livelihood, effort, mindfulness, and concentration. So now you have the raft. Now you have the noble eightfold path. You have Sakkaya Ditti along with this attachment to sensual, attachment to five aggregates, and you haven't understood the four great elements. You have Nandiraga, lust and delight. and you haven't understood the danger of six internal and external bases. So you have Sakkaya Ditthi, but you know that you can take the path of noble eightfold path and go to the other side where there is no such dangers. But have you taken a very smooth path to go from this Sakkaya Ditthi to Nirvana? No, the path is not that easy, because it is the defiled state we have when we practice much would be much more dangerous. And if we are not mindful, if we are not wise enough, we would be a victim of those defiled state. So exerting effort with hands and feet, this is an expression for the virya, samma vayam. So now you put the raft into the water, you get into it. Do you think that you could go easily to the other side? No, because water is flowing down very fast. You have to give a very strong energy to cross over. So this man crossed over, gone beyond. The Brahman means stand on dry land. This is called, this is an expression of Arhan. So how could you cross over the river with the raft? By using your right effort. You use both hands and legs with using sticks. You paddle the raft uh, so that you would be able to cross over that river and stand on the shore, the far shore, free from all the dangers. In the Alagadupama Sutta, you have the statement that you are not carrying that raft on your shoulder to place where you go after that. You keep it on the shore because you have done your duty with the raft, which means you practice the Dhamma just for a purpose, and once you achieve the purpose, you do not want Dhamma anymore. It does not mean that you destroy the Dhamma. You are a great results of the Dhamma. Therefore, you have Dhamma in you. The meaning there is that you don't want to, you haven't anything to do with the Dhamma. You don't want to practice the Dhamma to get anything out of it because you have taken everything out of it. So this is RCV Sopama Sutta in brief. And if we developed ideas of RCV Visopama Sutta into great details, actually, this would cover a lot of Dhamma. Now, a couple of hours could be spent for the discussion because a lot of Dhamma aspects are being discussed. In my understanding, Buddha talks about the problems that many people could experience, and the Buddha talks about the Noble Eightfold Path as the solution and also the results of the Noble Eightfold Path, namely the Nirvana. And it is also suggested that which way and how we practice the Noble Eightfold Path. For example, if you start trying so hard to paddle the raft at the very beginning, you will be exhausted when you come to the middle of the river. So at the corner, and in both corners on both sides of the river, water would not be that strong, but in the middle. So if you try so hard at the very beginning of the paddling, you will be also exhausted when you go to the middle. So you have to use your strength with the kind of management and where you need to paddle fast and where you do not want, right? So it is a suggesting statement from the Buddha that you have to practice the Noble Eightfold Path, keeping your physical and mental strength in the middle. That's what the Prince Siddhartha decided to do when he left go of self-mortification. Giving torture to this body is not the way for enlightenment, and also the happiness, too much luxurious things for this life. The path would be the middle path where you do not kill yourself, damage yourself physically and mentally, but you do not give more to this physical body and mind to satisfy it. So you find the right tune of the Dhamma, and so that you would be easily gone through to the final, end of the journey, that is called Nirvana. So friends, it is very important to discuss these Dhamma points. We can take 10 to 15 minutes for that, understandably. And of course, you can ask questions about this Dhamma, this particular sutta later on with other discussions, so that I would like you to speak about. Does anyone have any idea about the similes? Do you think that similes are not bringing up the ideas of the Dhamma? Do you think that they are very convincing for you? Because sometimes people don't understand the simile. Sometimes people say that this simile doesn't give you the full meaning of the particular Dhamma. So, so do you think that they are very good in terms of remembering? In this kind of discourses, we have to remember the simile in terms of getting the Dhamma behind them. For example, life is like the uh, dew drops, on at the end of the grass. Life is like a line drawn on the water. Life has a cycle just like the sun has. Sun rises and sun sets. So these are some of the literature or similes in the literature to denote the meaning of the life, the nature of the life. So that I think if you remember the simile, you could get the Dhamma out of it. That is what Buddha, uses similes. In other words, I just want to share the fact that similes are being used for people to understand the deep meaning behind it. Sometimes Buddha himself thought that I should give a simile or analogy or metaphor for disciples to understand, because the disciples would not be uggatitanya, the very high class wisdom based individual, so that he would give us some sort of similes. So any idea?
Bhante, this sutra is particularly is talking about the danger of samsara and what are the issues the real things which get us trapped in the samsara. And once you get to the end, like the Eightfold Path, we use that, we construct it. So Eightfold Path is a construction to get to the unconstructed, which is beyond the waters of the four floods, right?
Yeah.
That's the idea of the whole sutra.
Yeah.
And I think the interesting part, I think we can connect to the last discussion we had, is the empty village. Like you talk about, remember we talk about the Penapindaka Sutra, that there is a form for the eye. When you see an object, and you go through perceptions, feelings, thoughts, whatever. All the nama drama flows through. But eye itself is as you say, it's a like a muscle, like it's like a camera which captures it, but eye doesn't know. Or the thought or the feelings or perception also arise and passing away. That's empty. Eye is also empty in a way, because these are things put together, and we call it an eye. The lens, the retina, and all those apparatus together, and it's an eye. So if you get to break it apart, there's nothing. So the empty village is, there is nobody there, right? Pretty much the eye is there, but it's making something, but obviously it's in between. It's shunna. So it is pretty much a shunyata, like you talk about shunyata. So as Daruchira is talking about, like when it's if you're not there, you're not here, you're not no, you're not in between. In other words, when you see, you only see, but there's nothing in between also, right? So in
Yeah.
other words, that's like emptiness. He's talking about the emptiness. Does it convey that meaning? The empty village, the emptiness, pretty much. That
Indeed,
we
indeed.
created with.
There is nothing for me to add or further clarify. What you have said everything there. The connection between the Pena Pindupama Sutta is really matching with every idea the Buddha talks about in this discourse. With regard to empty village, yeah, here the, the Buddha gave the Dhamma that the six internal and external sense bases are empty, and external sense bases are compared to Rupa, Sabda, Gandha, Rasa, Sparsha, Dhamma. Whatever the objects we get throughout the six senses, they are the idea is that they are dangerous too. We can argue that the person should decide whether to attach to those things he or she sees, hear, and so on. But there is an entailing danger of all these, sounds, forms, and tasty food and smelling things and so forth, because they have the potential. It is really interesting that the Buddha compares those. 6 objects to thugs and bandits and so on. As you said, if you look at what you see, what you hear, they are made up of 4 great elements. Suppose I see you, I see beautiful people, I see flowers. What are these people and flowers? They are made up of 4 great elements, or 6 elements, and they have the same thing I have. If you understand, I is only a name given to 4 great elements, and they are derived factors. So you understand that you are empty from the essence, and also those people and things you see. So yeah, basically just like those 5 Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vijnana, these 6 internal and external sense bases are also empty, because 5 aggregates are being created in the basis of ayatana, with the contact, with the perception, and all the other important mental and physical, mental things, along with the physical things when they get together. So if you look at from the Dhamma lens, actually there is nothing there, nothing to take as I, me, and myself. That is why Buddha said that they're empty, sunyata. For a person who has wisdom, there is nothing for him to take as valuable. So yeah, emptiness, sunyata, actually in Theravada Buddhism, Buddha has talked about emptiness even without that name emptiness, sunyata. Sometimes he uses emptiness, sunyata, animitta, appanihita, sunyata, which means that if you see things come together with causes and conditions, you cannot take that particular object, that person, that hearing and tasting and so forth as something valuable, because you see the connection, you see the conditional nature, so that you do not take things as nitya or permanent, but you take that anicca, that is called animitta sanya. So you do not have connection between your mind and them. You do not create that craving, attachment with that. So animitta. Then appanita, when you see that everything is impermanent, everything is conditional, you cannot take them as pleasure or important in the sense of normal life, and you are not going to enjoy it as normal people do. Nibbida is arising, that is called appanita. It is not panita, it is not panihita, it is not pleasant, it is not It is not delighting. It is something totally beyond that, something totally against to that. It is not, attacking with somebody or something. There is no problem at all in his mind, like, depression and so forth, but he has seen everything as there. So you have apanita. Then sunyata. There is no atta, there is no self there, but it is empty. Sunyata is always going with, actually, it is in line with anatta, and both then anatta and sunyata is against of atta. Atta means there is a person, there is another person. Because I am here, therefore there is somebody else there. I am here and I have a table. Table, existing of table is also taken into consideration because of the existence of a particular person called I. And if I do not see that I permanently exist, there is nothing permanently existing next to me as well. That's why you said Daruchirya and also different monks, and they do not find here or there, in between as well. Na idang, na hurang, na ubeyamantari. There is no one here, so that how could we find somebody else there as well? And in between, for example, if you do not find yourself today, how could you find yourself tomorrow? And in between, there is no one passing from this moment to next moment as well. So you rightly put things together that Daruchiri actually got into these ideas quickly. We can see that he has only 4 lines from the Buddha, but he was able to get all these things into his mind quickly and got the Dhamma and completed his training. So it is really interesting, and Sunyata is taught in Theravada Buddhism in such a way, sometimes without the word Sunyata.
And Animitta comes before Shunyata. When you say Animitta Samadhi, although you have a Samadhi, you're not taking any signs, so signless Samadhi, right? But that itself is also a sign, right? Not taking any sign. Yes. There is some kind of sign, because it's not Shunyata itself. Maybe it's a precursor, it's before the Shunyata. I mean, it's hard to describe Shunyata because it's probably not any words to describe Shunyata, but Animitta is probably just before Shunyata. Does it make sense? Or?
Yeah, indeed. If you are going to understand Shunyata, you have to go through Animitta and Apanita. That's the procedure that the Buddha talks about. That's
why Apanita? Apanita is like a Nibbida? Is it something like that? No.
No. When you have Apanihita.
Apanihita, okay.
Apanihita, yeah. Apanihita means you are not taking anything delightful. It doesn't mean that you have kind of disgusting feeling and rejection no, it is a total understanding about what is going on.
Is it Sabbaloke Anabhirata Sanya? Something like that?
It's Sabbaloke Anabhirata Sanya, Sabba Sankharesu Anicca Sanya, that sort of things are there.
Okay.
Yeah, because you see everything as somebody else does, but there is nothing to enjoy in those things. In that magician story,
yeah,
you have gone behind the stage, and you see that man is
his
hand and sticks and so on. Everybody is laughing and put their expression, oh my God, but you don't see that, you don't enjoy, because you don't see the magic when you look at the magician and things he does behind him. So like that you have seen the conditional nature of everything, seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, and living, and around the world around you. So you see only conditional nature. Sankhara is seen very much on every physical and mental activities, so that there is no delight. That is called Apanita. So actually these things are happening together simultaneously, but in terms of explaining
so you have to break it down.
happening, you have to have Animitta first, then Apanita, then Sunyata.
No wow factor. No wow.
No wow factor there with Apanita. So
Okay,
you are
thanks.
solid. You are. The same thing happened to Upatis and Kolita, right? When they have been in a kind of research, as a result of they got into the fact that these dancing, singing, happy moments for normal average life doesn't make any sense for them, because their mind open up to the reality immediately. And what happened to Pippali and Baddakapilani, Mahakasapa and Baddakapila, they were also got into same mindset immediately. So yeah, you don't find any pleasure, any mundane calm at all with that understanding. So this is what we are doing actually. We want to do meritorious deed, sila, any type of action belongs to samadhi and panya, just to get that understanding, like Sariputta or Moggallana or Mahakassapa, whatever, or through, they got it quickly, like Daruchirya. If that happened to us, that is marvelous. But even if that is not the way, we have to get this idea. So the moment we cross over this mundane, laukika, lifestyle, is called nibbida. So beyond that, you have yatabhuta jnana actually to have nibbida. You have to see conditional structure of every physical and mental and inside and outside things in order to feel that this is not the right thing. So it happens to, Patachara, Kisagotami were mad because of the severe attack, severe upadana. They had severe upadana to their life, and they experienced death of many individuals in their families. But immediately Buddha had that power to take them and open up their mind, and they actually were able to, and they were lucky to get that nibbida immediately. That's why they turn 90-degree themselves and attain to nirvana within a short period of time. And there are many other instances in the Tripitaka that they got into such a experience. So I am pretty sure that we could do that if we understand what the Buddha's message about us. We do different rituals. We hang on to traditional, cultural, important factors, but we have to understand the meaning behind it and understand what the Buddha said exactly. So if we try to find ourselves in those activities, we have been having sakkaya ditthi. And if we do not find ourselves in any activities, but only activities, there you don't develop anusaya or any sakkaya ditthi, because you are not there in the activities, you are not there in the profession, you are not there in anything like that, but a type of living beings, a conditional nature is moving, working, and so on. So emptiness actually, in my understanding, is explained very much in 5 aggregates, in 4 great elements, and ayatana, 6 senses, and so on. So very interesting, and try to develop your interrelatedness of different discourses and different Dhamma factors, so that you can develop your Dhamma knowledge, which is important for us to go forward, because there is no guarantee that we could have Kalyana Mitas always together, right? You must be able to have the Dhamma weapons in you, so that learn the Dhamma, compare the Dhamma, the Sunata, listen to Dharita, keep them in mind, and try to apply them one after the other together, so that you would be in safe place. Just like that man who crossed over the flood of sensuality, ditti and vijja, and also existence, and find permanent complete security. So that is, I think, what we expect and Buddha expect from the group of monks who listen to the Dhamma, to be like those, to be like that man who crossed over the river. It is interesting to get that point next time, that how we take the Noble Eightfold Path in the medium tune and practice it. Sometimes we would be working so hard to practice the meditation and get samadhi and get out of the samsara. And those people who work so hard without getting rest, without having rest, would be in desperation sometime, because their physical energy is too much, no mental energy fitting for the high degree of physical energy. I would take that next time, I guess, with the Sona Sutta, because monk Sona was practicing Dhamma with so much emphasis on 4 Iryapata, but he was unable to get anything out of the Dhamma. Then the Buddha came and explained to him that Dhamma should be practiced in the middle way. So take a rest and meditate, and then again take a rest. So you have to go like that, so that he was able to find the right Dhamma in his own. So any questions other than this wonderful discussion between myself and Dr. Pial? I think people consider the time, and I should do that as well. People know the Dhamma. I know that. Even though they cannot share it, they don't have some time to share it. Those who join with us through live stream, they never can share any questions. So, and also through YouTube. So, but you are welcome to write to me. And I have some questions with me, and our friends sent them to me a week ago. I will definitely write to you, or at least talk to you about them and discuss them. I never missed questions in my Dhamma session, so I managed to answer them even after 2 weeks, sometimes once after 1 month. So be patient. So your questions are considered very much, and I will write descriptive answers to them. Thank you very much for coming and having Dhamma medicine for your sansaric release from all kinds of mental illnesses. It does mean that we need it, and you are encouraging others by participating in the discussion, including myself, so that I share with you merits that we accumulate individually as well as together, and may you all be well, happy, and peaceful. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.